fam. So just leaving one of the little market shop down here, and yeah, I'm heading down to the river to sit down and relax. And I wanted to talk to you about the Be Kind community. First off, let me say sorry about the voice. I do have a cold, so right now we're doing the sexy radio voice. How is everybody doing? You know, hit those notes I can't normally reach. So bear with that, okay? Now, while I talk at you, please be aware while I'm walking around. It's really nice little alleyway here, though. So I want to talk about the Be Kind community and why I made that. Well, it starts off with a little bit of a history lesson, I suppose, because we have to take into account the greater crypto community. Now, the greater crypto community is a pretty fun and active community. This is not including and not separate of. Sorry, this is not only NFT community. I'm talking about the greater crypto community. So those that are just investors or just owners of the cryptocurrency. Now, when crypto started, it was mostly just techies, right? And there were people that jumped on board right away for the philosophy, and there was people that jumped on board right away just for the fun of it, the novelty, and of course those that thought of it as a long-term investment. I mean, all these reasons were really great, but if you looked at it, the majority of the people that were into those ideologies or into the reasons behind joining crypto was mostly men. Because it's so risky, and if you look at any risky activity, it's predominantly men. I blame it on our testosterone, but you know, it can spark some innovation too. You know, when you channeled correctly on the occasion that we channel it that way, and because of that, the crypto community was predominantly men, and it was on the internet, so people were anonymous. So when you get a bunch of men together on the internet and you let them be anonymous, sometimes we get a little out of hand. And I noticed that they took on a culture of what they called degen, which was short for degenerate, because they were just being ridiculous. I mean, and I've seen some ridiculous chats, some ridiculous conversations, some ridiculous antidotes. It was all over the place, guys. Listen, I'd be real with you, man. It was pretty dark humor, and you know, I come from a military background, so I know dark humor, and I find a lot of it pretty funny. But some of it gets to the point of being destructive and almost bullying. And I noticed a lot of that starting to seep over, because when the NFT community started, I wasn't active in the Twitter spaces. I was just reading about it and following it cursory. So it wasn't right away that I saw what was going on, but that same degen culture was then taking roots into what's called Twitter Spaces. Now, Twitter Spaces are where we all get together and we talk about our art, we talk about the technology, we talk about the news in the crypto world, and they're hopping. They're really fun. That's where you get the latest news on new projects, and you get to meet people in the community. They're super fun, and they're kind of addictive too. I won't lie, because a lot of us artists don't really get out much, so they're pretty exciting. And with that said, that degenerative culture kind of seeped over a bit. Trees. Let's walk down this way, get a little more secluded. Oh, maybe I'll go down there. So with that said, because of that, you go into a space, and if you didn't know anyone, some of the spaces would outright bully you. You know, they kind of haze you to see if you were tough enough to be part of the community. And it was kind of silly. Not kind of silly. It is just absolutely the epitome of immature, in my opinion, to bully someone who is curious and wishes to be part of your community. But this in-group, out-group hazing can be seen in communities across the world, and it's a natural part of tribalistic thinking, you know. And the sociological background, if you read about human behavior, this is nothing new. It's absolutely normal. Look at frat houses. Frat houses are a good microcosm of how this can occur, right? And so that's what was going on. I saw a lot of it. I didn't really enjoy it, because for me personally, I thought it was unnecessary. Like I've been hazed. I've gone through some of that type of stuff, because I was in the military, and sometimes you see some nonsense, and it is what it is. People can do what they want to do. But was it really necessary to be part of an artistic community? Absolutely not. So I started looking around at what the spaces that I enjoyed, and they were the ones that were not engaging this kind of behavior. Now, don't get me wrong, I love good degen jokes, I love those kind of dark humor spaces, those are a lot of fun. I don't like the bullying, I don't like the hazing. So that's one of the reasons why I chose the name Be Kind. because you never know what someone's going through, guys. Like, like I said, just a little bit more about me. I was in the military. I had a silly accident stateside. You know, no heroics or anything like that. It was just a silly accident. I got injured. They weren't able to fix me, and that injury became permanent because of some mistakes that were made along the way in my recovery. And now I have lifelong chronic pain. And because of that, you know, some days I get up and I could walk, you know, 5 kilometers. Well, that was back then. Maybe I could get up and do like 3 kilometers now. But then there's some days that I get up and I can't even get out of bed. You know, I have to roll myself out. So we need to consider that when we have people in these rooms from all walks of life. We don't know what they're going through. You know, and I had this great friend. She was a real sweet woman and just a real enlightened, kind soul. And she would always put on her Facebook at the end of the day, just remember everyone, please be kind. She would say, just remember everyone, please be kind. And she would add things like, every day, please be kind. Don't forget to be kind. And it was nice because you never know what someone was going through, right? You know, and I know my friend, she also suffers a chronic illness of her own, and so she was struggling. And her little reminders at first to me sound kind of like, of course we gotta be kind. Like, why would you just say that? But it became almost a mantra for me. And because, you know, as I travel the world, I travel different cultures, and there's one mantra that I really liked, and it stands for compassion. And just reminding someone to be kind is reminding them to be compassionate. So it had that same feel for me. And it reminded me of my friend, you don't know what someone's going through. So I started running these spaces called the Be Kind, and then I would, like, art community or Be Kind community. And I just welcome everyone in there. But then people would ask me, like, well, why are you running these, Adam? You're not the kindest person. Well, I'm not making any claim to being a kind person, but I'm making a statement that we are all works in progress, and we should try to be kind. I'm gonna say that again. We're all works in progress. We should try to be kind, and that's the important part. Excuse me. And people don't always get that. Like, my sister always teases me. She says, Adam, you're that little, she said, you know that little voice in your head that says, don't say something? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, you killed yours. And she was right at that time. And it wasn't until I lived in Japan and in Laos that I became more accustomed to censoring myself. Back then, I would just say what was ever on my mind. And, of course, you know, I'm still pretty direct when I'm not talking with foreigners. Like, if I'm in Japan, I speak Japanese, I don't tend to be too direct. And when I speak Laos, I try not to be too direct too, but when I'm in English, I tend to still have that bit of my personality where I'll just say something. And so this has kind of made me the target, like, Adam, why are you running these spaces? But look, guys, I'm just trying to promote the culture of kindness. I'm not trying to say I'm the kindest person on this planet. I'm far from it. I've made countless mistakes in my life, but that's why I of all people, need this daily reminder. That's why we need to remind each other. Because we all are works in progress, and if we all work together to create a kinder NFT community, it has the potential to become mainstream. I run classes for kids now, man, and that is really fun. We have these kid NFT artists sharing their works, and when you see a child sell their art for the first time, you know how inspiring that is for a child? Well, they couldn't do that in a DGen space, right? They can't just walk in there. I mean, the topics that were going on there, like, oh my gosh. Like sexually explicit topics, and that it just would not be appropriate for a young child to sit in the room and wait their turn to talk. But in the Be Kind space, we're able to set aside, okay, Saturdays is for children. Children, please come. And during the weekdays, I say if there's a child that would like to share, to DM me, and I'll try to get them up and let them share and get out. That way, because there are people sharing nude art throughout the week, you know, because there's nothing wrong with the female or male body, you know, nude. And so we need to be able to respect both sides, right? But we still should create a culture of kindness so we can allow those time and place for the children to come in and time and place for the adults to talk and share their art. So I think it's really important that we all create a culture of kindness that allows new artists, new collectors to enter our community. Because if we can do that, guys, we have the potential to allow NFTs to become mainstream. If NFTs become mainstream, that means that as an artistic renaissance, we could really do something with this. It could be a true renaissance where we've taken away the power from other people in the world who tell us that's not art, this is art. Only this is art. Only this kind of art's good enough for galleries. All you other artists, you don't get to have a career. NFTs takes that power from people who try to dictate to us what is real art and what is not. And so we need this community to be thriving and vibrant, to bring in all walks of life and to welcome all kinds of people in here. So that is why I've chosen the name Be Kind. You never know what someone's going through, and you might be the person that made their day better by just saying hello and being kind to them, allowing them having a warm place where they can talk with each other. So that's why I do that, guys. And I invite you to come be part of it. My Twitter handle is @colorblind_Adam. Feel free to follow me. Feel free to join my Twitter spaces, the Be Kind community space. You're always welcome. There's other spaces out there that are trying to be welcoming too, like NFTs for Freedom, and so forth and so on. But I would totally invite you guys. Please come join us and share your art. If you don't have art to share, come talk about someone else's art. Come talk about why you're interested in the community. Ask questions. And just look at the title on the top. We'll have a theme of the day, and just respect that. And that way we can have a smooth space and we all enjoy together. Sun setting, so it's right in my eyes while I was filming this, but it's worth it, guys, just come sit out here by the river for a minute. So anyways, I want to wish you guys a lot of love, a lot of kindness in your hearts. Hope you guys have a great day. I hope to see you in my spaces. I hope that we can continue to promote a culture of kindness within the NFT community. It's moving, guys. More and more spaces are doing it now. And at first everyone was laughing at me, and now I see more and more people running spaces that are super kind and super welcoming. And some of them are people that used to be very active in my space, and now they're creating their own, and I love it. That means the movement's spreading. And let's keep doing that. Let's get more people to come in, learn what you can, and then make your own spaces. Just keep it going like a wildfire. Just keep spreading that kindness, guys. And if we can become a dominant voice in this community, it'll really help bring more and more people in here. But we still need our degen spaces to have a good laugh and have a good fun, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. I'm not judging anyone. I just think that we need to have both. So that's why I'm doing my part to give this side of it. So thank you guys all for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. You know what to do, guys, though. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let's help get these out there. Let's help get new people into the community. So thank you so much.